Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about estimating repairs when you're looking at a flip house, or maybe it's in a rental but an investment property. One principle that all experienced real estate investors know is that time kills all deals. So I wanted to show you how I quickly analyze deals fast so I can look at more deals, make more offers, and ultimately win more contracts and have success with that. So this is how I estimate repairs when I'm looking at houses. This is something that I've done on hundreds of houses. It's been tried and true for me, so hopefully it's something that is helpful that you could implement as well. When I'm looking at a house for an after repair value, this is more for comping, but I'll circle back. When I'm comping at a house, I like to look at the price per square foot. So I want to see if the neighborhood is selling at $145 a square foot, $150 a square foot, $200 a square foot. And that gives me the best idea of what that neighborhood could hold by per square foot. Now I say that because I also break that down with my rehabs, which has been very helpful for me to analyze deals quick. So I break it down by price per square foot, and I have ranges. This is my price rehab range formula, if you will. Small flip, medium flip, large flip. $20 to $25 a square foot, $25 to $30 a square foot, $30 to $35 a square foot. Now, this is not necessarily a one-size-fits-all. You might be a DIY person where you do all the work yourself, so your labor is going to be significantly cheaper. So your range might start at like 18 to 19 as an example, right? And it might be lower here as well. Or you might be a chip and join against type person, and you're going to shiplap the whole house, and you're going to put in marble and gold and put out a really nice product, which is great, but you might be on the higher end of the spectrum for the rehab. Now, I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so if by some crazy chance you're in California and you're watching this, again, this is going to be a little different. This is Tulsa, Oklahoma, but I think this is pretty standard. Overall, the majority will be right in this range. So when I'm looking at a house, I like to see if it's small, medium, large first. Small is going to be cosmetic, right? You're going to go in there and paint. You're not necessarily going to replace the floors. Maybe you have to just clean the carpets and then, put some lipstick on it and you're off to go. The medium flip is going to be, you're probably going to be touching the surfaces, all of the surfaces. Maybe you're putting in granite. You're definitely going to be doing floors, so you're going to be doing a lot more. Large is when you're getting into your CapEx, your capital expenditures, so maybe you have to replace the roof, you've got foundation problems potentially, maybe it's the windows, the HVAC, so those are going to be your larger range rehabs, and of course, depending on the size of the house, that's going to matter, but we break it down by per square foot, so that's fine. It could also be a mixture of some. So say it's a cosmetic job, but the roof needs to be replaced, then it's probably going to be still falling in the range here closer to the medium-sized flip. Now, like I said, I've done this on hundreds of deals myself, and I've analyzed deals just like this. So if I've got a 1,000 square foot home, and I know that it's a medium-sized flip, or someone's telling me on the phone that it's a medium-sized flip, I don't even have to go look at it. I'm probably thinking it's $25,000 to get the deal done, or to get the rehab done. One thing that is helpful with that is if, let's say, you're a little bit newer and you're unsure what the costs are going to be. Like I said in the beginning here, is time does kill all deals. So if you're bringing in contractors to every house you're looking at, and you're getting a full scope of work, and you're measuring everything, by the time you get around to feeling confident with your scope of work to be able to make that offer, there's probably an investor out there who's walked it because they have the experience and says, oh yeah, I can get this done for $25,000 to $30,000. Go ahead and make an offer. By the time you submit your offer and you've done your full extended due diligence, the deal is gone. That's what I mean by time kills all deals. And that applies to a lot of things in real estate, but that's one thing out of many. So find a range that is good for you. Stick with that range. Like I said, I've been using this range pretty much for 8 years. Now I know inflation and everything has happened. I've just gotten a little bit better and have better relationships with contractors. So I found ways to be cost effective in that. So honestly, my range has not really deviated much in the last 8 years from how I analyze deals, and knowing exactly pretty much within a few $1,000s where I'm going to land. Now, there's always going to be another truth is it's always going to cost more and it's always going to take longer. Now, there is the contingencies in there that you have to know about. But again, this is about looking at deals and analyzing them quickly to know exactly, within a range where you're going to be. If you feel uncomfortable that it's too low, let's say it's a medium-sized flip that you're like, it really is pretty big, then just add 32 to that, right? Like you don't want to get caught in analysis paralysis. Start getting reps in, start looking at more deals, start analyzing the deals, and the pieces are going to start coming together. And I think you'd be really surprised within this range where you'd actually fall. So look at the numbers, try it out, maybe pull some stuff on Zillow and just try to mess around with it a little bit. And yeah, go off of the square footage of the home, and hopefully that's helpful for you. Again, it's something that I have done for a long time, I continue to do, and I will continue to use it unless it is something I decide not to do. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Hope it helps. Bye. Let's talk profit. Okay, yesterday I did a Facebook Live with you guys about how to quickly analyze repairs and rehabs and the importance of that, because we understand as real estate investors that time kills all deals. I wanted to also share with you now a very easy, quick formula to go ahead and find the profit for a deal, say if you were flipping the house. So I use some simple numbers here, easy math, and I'll show you step by step of how I back into the profit for a potential deal. Using this example, we're going to go off of the purchase, the buy. Let's say you're buying a house for $40,000. You know, based on the ARV, the after repair value, that the house can sell for $100,000. Let's say it's a 1,000 square foot home, and based on the comps, maybe you got it from a realtor or you did the comps yourself, you know that that neighborhood can sell for $100 a square foot. So you got to the after repair value, what you're going to list it for ultimately at $100,000. So buy for 100, buy for 40, sell for 100. Well, let's work the math. It's very easy and very simple, right, guys? So we're going to start with the ARV. We'll do $100,000. We're going to times that by 0.94. What is that? That's 6% commissions that we're backing out of it. So basically, if you're going to sell the house, you're most likely going to use a realtor, and you're going to be paying 3% buy, 3% sale commissions. So 100 minus 6 is 94. So we're doing $100,000 times 0.94, taking out the commissions. And then we're subtracting out the closing costs when you buy and the closing costs when you sell. So for this example, I use 2% for closing costs. That might be a little different based on your relationship with your title company, but overall fairly standard. And again, I'm using simple math so we can understand this clearly. So I am saying 2% of 40,000 is 800, and then 2% of the 100,000 when you sell it is going to be 2,000. So just to go back, we're doing ARV 100,000 times 0.94, which is taking out our commissions, minus closing costs when we buy, minus closing costs when we sell, and then next I'm taking out the holding costs. Again, just using an example here, I put in $5,000. Your holding costs are going to look different based on if you're buying it straight with cash, or depending on what your loan is, you might be using private money, hard money. You'll be able to know what your closing costs are based on the loan and those factors for you. You basically want to have at least about 6 months of holding costs in there if you're doing a flip. If it's going to be a big, large flip and you know that it's going to take a long time, then factor out longer time period for your holding costs. But 6 months is a good place to start to at least know quickly if that's going to be a good deal for you or not. So again, I just put in 5,000. Another thing to remember on the holding cost is going to be utilities, prorated taxes, and insurance. So factor that in as well. Next, we're going to go to taking out the rehab costs, so your repairs. from the video I did yesterday, if you guys saw it, this is a 1,000 square foot home in this example. I'm saying this is about a medium-ish flip. It's going to cost $25 a square foot to flip it, so I'm getting $25,000 that I'm going to be taking out for the rehab. Then I'm taking out $2,000 for the TRRs. TRR stands for treatments, repairs, and replacements. So if you're selling a home to an end buyer, once you have it listed, you're going to have a home inspection more than likely. And the home inspector is going to come in there, and then he's going to have a report of things that you might have to repair or replace. Maybe it's just some things you forgot or things that need to be readdressed. I'm being conservative here and saying, hey, there's $2,000 of unforeseeables that we need to go back through and fix real quick before we ultimately sell the house. You might put in the TRR estimate when you're analyzing it quickly into the rehab, or you're putting in a contingency. Contingency is good because that's your unforeseeables. So maybe it's 2%, 5% of the overall budget that you want to put in for contingencies. Finally, we're going to bump out our original purchase price, which is the $40,000. And then we're going to get to the fun stuff, which is the profit. So ultimately, what is the profit of that deal or that flip for you? I intentionally left that off so you can go ahead and run this formula yourself, see what that number comes out to. If you want, go ahead and post it in the comments. And if you know what that is, tell me if you would or would not do the deal, why or why not. So real quick as a refresher, you bought the house for 40, you're going to sell it for 100. You're doing 100, taking out commissions, taking out closing costs when you buy, closing costs when you sell, holding cost, rehabs, TRRs, or maybe contingencies, original purchase price, profit, bam. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and this is something that I use. It's helpful for me. Hopefully it's helpful to you. Have a good day. Thanks.